title in 50 years.
For the first time since 1971, the Milwaukee Bucks are NBA champions.
Got me, Shannon?
Yeah, got you.
The title with a 105-98 win over the Phoenix.
Okay, I've got your picture taken care of pretty much now.
Leading all scorers with
I think it looks good. What I see.
Becoming just the 7th player in the history of the finals to have a 50-point game. His efforts in the series also earning him the Bill Russell Finals Most Valuable Player Award.
Dan Naraki from the USA Radio News Ohio Bureau with that story. More news online at usaradio.com or on Facebook at USA Radio.
Okay, you're on. You got your picture?
Yeah, I think it looks good. Good to me.
The following is an America Matters media production. The views expressed do not necessarily represent those of the station or its advertisers, although we think they should. But that's the opinion of America Matters Media.
Welcome back. It's Talking Truth to Power, Nevada and the world's Freedom Talk Radio.
And wherever you are, I hope your air is better than ours here in northern Nevada.
I think the fires are going all over the country. That's something California exports again.
You know where I'm at, the top of Kingsbury there?
Yeah.
Well, the wind has been out of the southwest, so it's pushing the smoke by us. We haven't had anything.
Oh, great.
Isn't that something? That never happens. So,
by the way, I'm Brendan Trainor, your host. Leland Faegre, my co-host, who has escaped all the smoke, and Shanimal Lawson is on the board.
I think the smoke is going in Shanimal's direction.
Well, I think we can start off with those runaway Democrats and our illustrious Vice President, Kamala Harris.
You mean the flyaway Democrats?
The flyaway Democrats, yes. They were like another 9/11 as their plane took off to hit D.C.
They just keep digging themselves deeper.
Yes.
One of them this morning said, her response was widely reported, I think, that when Abbott arrests them upon their return, that will be an act of slavery.
Oh, no.
I mean, when will they learn just to shut up and not make it any worse, you know?
When everything is racist, when everything is slavery, then then there is no racism and there was no slavery.
Ever was, yeah.
And Kamala Harris, of course, she talked to them twice and was exposed to them. And according to protocol, she was supposed to quarantine herself for 14 days, but she's refusing to do it because, it's the rules are made for you, but not for me. We're a big club, and you're not in it.
You're not in it. George Carlin is so good, man.
Yeah, I know. I mean, if only the young people. I mean, I'm hearing a lot of weird things about young people today, that they really don't like the First Amendment. They really do want to get rid of, eliminate hate speech.
Oh my God, the damage from public schools is now for everyone to see. Everybody thought I was exaggerating the point all these years, and I don't think they think so anymore.
Well, yeah, I mean, and then they keep pushing the masks on young children, even though they have no real risk of catching anything serious.
And now racism.
Yeah. The critical race theory, you mean?
Kids don't think about that stuff.
No.
Nor should you. You should have an appreciation of their age appropriateness for a lot of these subjects.
Exactly.
Including the subject of race.
Right.
It's just
and sex and gender.
Absolutely. For the same reason.
Right. And teaching, one school was teaching 5-year-olds how to self-pleasure.
Yep.
That's totally insane. I could never conceive of that when I was growing up and learning all the. Oh man.
Well, you know the thing.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, they know the thing now.
Yeah.
That's the problem.
And we have some other news. We have a lot of news. It's hard to pick and choose today.
Oh, okay.
But a young man named Paul Hodgkins is the first to be sentenced on a felony charge for the insurrection of January 6th. He received 8 months the prosecution actually asked for 16 months. And so you must have thought he must have bashed a cop over the head with a fire extinguisher or something, you know?
Because he's already served 8 months, hasn't he?
Probably.
So he should have been released.
Yeah.
With an apology.
I know. So he was basically sentenced for wearing a Trump T-shirt, carrying a flag, and taking a selfie on the Senate floor.
See,
that was his obstruction of a government function.
He's a patriot.
Yes.
Which is a word they want to go after now.
Right.
They don't want you to use the word patriot. And if you do, we're going to single you out.
Yes.
They don't like that word.
No.
Because that represents the history of the United States of America.
You mean after 1619?
After 1619.
Okay.
Yeah.
Shut up.
So, what about Ashley Babbitt? Obviously, what about Ashley Babbitt? And what about the fact that even Vladimir Putin said that we've arrested all these people and they just came for political demands? Mm-hmm. This is insane.
Yeah.
The only one that had a gun on that during this insurrection, besides the Capitol Police, and now they think it was one of Mike Pence's Secret Service guys that shot Ashley Babbitt. The only other person that we know has a gun was a former DE agent who took a selfie. He participated in the riots, but he's not necessarily an agent provocateur. But he took a selfie of him holding his badge and a gun in the building.
Do you know why the troops were asked to come in that morning in the first place?
Well, why?
Because there had been identified improvised explosive devices at the Democrat and Republican headquarters there.
Yeah, we heard those stories, but
yeah.
Nothing else followed up about it.
Right, but because they don't want to talk about that.
No.
They want us to think it was all about these mean old insurrectionists like Paul Hutchins.
Well, the guy's got black hair and a black beard and mustache. He looks satanic.
Oh, he looks like an insurrectionist.
Yes,
if I ever saw one.
Yeah, so it's getting scary and scary out there. You can't call yourself a patriot. You can't go online and criticize the stated establishment view of COVID-19 or the vaxes.
But the way I look at it, they don't have enough room for us all in the jails. How are they going to lock us all up?
I know. Or at least half the country.
It's time to rise up, people.
Yeah. Hey, now you're really going to get in trouble.
Well, our listeners are around the world, so let's just see what happens.
You insurrectionists, you.
Yeah. We want to hear from you right now. What's our number?
Even the Confederates didn't do what these people did.
It's 844-790-TALK. That's 8255. Give us a jingle.
Hi, this is Eddie Floyd. Let me tell you about my favorite non-profit public charity, Wainema Wild Horse Sanctuary, located on the Forsythe Ranch in Hallelujah Junction area. And please go to www.wainemaranch.com. That's WYNEMA ranch.com.
This overload.
Shannon Lawson here. Join us for the Nevada Radio Roundup, Fridays at 2 p.m. A good news variety show all about the local scene. The Nevada Roundup, Friday at 2.
Unable to listen to the whole show? A recording of today's program will be available later today. Visit americamatters.us and click on the podcast link. Now, back to the show.
Hey, welcome back. It's Talking Truth to Power. And I'm your host, Brendan Trainor, my co-host, Leland Faegre.
And that's what we do around here.
Yeah, we do. And so Biden's press secretary, Jen Psaki, opened up a real can of worms when she just came right out and said, oblivious to any consequences, apparently, that the White House is and the Surgeon General's office is working with Facebook to cancel or deplatform anybody that spreads disinformation about the COVID or the vaccines.
Yeah, but it's COVID now. It'll be some other subject later.
Oh, yeah. I mean, once they have this established, then, that...
There's no end to it.
No, there is no end to it. I mean, anything could be deemed disinformation. That's the whole purpose of the First Amendment, so the government won't be deeming things to be disinformation. And it was really strange to hear this Surgeon General. He's really a strange character. Vivek Murthy. He was Obama's first Surgeon General?
That's right, I think so.
Yeah, and he spoke at the Democratic Convention, which was a partisan affair, in 2016. But now he's back on the job, and we used to have attorney generals that would lecture us, like Regina Benjamin. She was, I think, Obama's second attorney general. And she lectured us about breastfeeding, and she asked us not to commit suicide. Well,
it was nice of her.
Yeah, maybe that's something that Vivek should take up because of the political lockdowns. More and more people, including children, are killing themselves.
Yep.
But for some reason, he doesn't want to touch that.
Hasn't that been the greatest number of deaths in Britain?
Yes.
Suicide?
Yes, I think so.
Of the younger generation?
Right. Well, yeah, 150 children's suicides, according to the latest study in the last year. And that's all. The lockdowns prevented something like 25 children's death. Most of them had pre-existing conditions, But the lockdowns prevented 25 deaths, but they killed 150 because of suicide. It's the seen and the unseen. Bastiat talked about this 100 years ago. You can
talked about everything.
Yeah, you can see there's a problem, and you have a focused solution on it, but you don't realize all the other problems it's going to cause.
The ancillary parts to this.
Right.
Yeah.
Government intervention, not a good thing. So now the other thing about science was Senator Paul and Dr. Fauci got into a real shouting match on the Senate.
Didn't they, though?
Yeah.
I mean, it was spectacular.
Fauci pointed not one, but two fingers at Paul.
But his hands were shaking. Did you see that?
Yeah. Yeah, he was shook up.
Because he knows.
He knows exactly.
These deaths around the world have his imprimatur on them. And it's about time that he is exposed for the fraud that he is.
Yeah.
A 40-year fraud is basically what Fauci is.
Yeah, nobody should be in office if that is an office, because...
It shouldn't be in office.
No, that long, 40 years?
Yeah.
No, and the head bureaucrat, Paul said that doctors across the country are frightened of him. He apparently, according to Defense of Children, the Robert Kennedy Jr. Anti-Vax website, they claim that Fauci receives a percentage of the royalties from drugs the NIH helps develop.
I've heard this.
Yeah.
It'll be worthwhile to know whether this is actually the case.
Yes.
Because that would have a lot to, say about it, and to implicate his responsibility for what we've been watching.
Yes. And he completely gaslighted Paul. All the intelligent onlookers caught it. I mean, the Twitterverse.
Yeah, he didn't answer his questions.
He said this paper that you present was reviewed up and down the chain by qualified experts. But yeah, they were all in the NIH.
And Rand appropriately responded that he's got a team of people lined up waiting to refute it.
Yes, exactly.
So let's have it. And we don't even have to pay for this.
No. Yeah, we should get him in the ring together.
That was just a
get him in the cage, fight, no holds barred fight.
God, that was good. And they're all covering it, probably obsessively, but it was just that good. It needs to be, it needs to be out there. And I'm all for sponsoring it myself. Hell, I'll throw a few dollars at that damn thing.
So it did enhance the function of the natural virus, but It's still not gain of function Reeves. Yeah.
And we have him back in 2012 saying that even if it caused a pandemic, it's still worth the science.
Well, yeah.
Yeah.
Because, you know.
And that's what happened.
Science is the ultimate God to some people, even though science is supposed to be about discovering the truth and not covering it up.
But you see, this is where, you know, be careful what you ask for.
Right.
Because in 2012, he said, even if a pandemic were to ensue, it would be worth it. Well, we got one.
We got one. So we have to find out if it's worth it or not.
And his DNA, that is Fauci's DNA, is all over this pandemic.
I guess he used the same logic as Madeleine Albright when she said killing 500,000 Iraqi babies was worth it.
Yeah. Wasn't that something?
Yeah. Well, that's the logic these people use.
That is how they think.
Yeah. If you want to make an omelet, you have to break some eggs. Didn't Vladimir Lenin say that?
I think so.
Yeah.
But I think he said it in Russian.
Yeah. Well, you know, I mean, like you said, the censorship is right out there now. I heard one lawyer say that they really can't prove that it's government censorship, although I wonder if that's true. But there are other lawsuits pending. It would certainly seem to help Trump's lawsuit.
Oh, yeah.
Because he says that they're state actors.
When you take direction from the state, if you're in the private sector, then you become an agent de facto of the government.
The state, right.
So, yeah, I mean, it's a slam dunk case.
And the Supreme Court has already said that you can't do that.
But they have a year and a half to pull this off.
Yeah.
They still have a year and a half of life left in this whole thing.
So, yeah, it's just amazing. Science, you know, it's the same thing with global warming. There's science, the whole body of scientific research on climate, and there's the settled science that the Democrats are pushing that, you know, is not by far the whole version of the scientific climate science.
10% of those Texas legislators have come down with this variant.
10%?
10%. I mean, that raises the law of averages on getting this disease to astronomical numbers.
And then if you zoom out and focus on the big picture, the vaccines themselves may have caused the variants. I mean, you know, when we had the Spanish flu in World War I mean, it was that we had horrible conditions. It was the battlefield conditions. It was lack of medical knowledge and so on at the time. No antibiotics, nothing. But
no science.
No science. But you know, it burned itself out after a couple of years. I know millions of people died, but it now the Spanish flu, I understand, is still one of the viruses out there. If you get a virus, you could have a greatly weakened version of that Spanish flu that you're infected with.
Because these viruses have to run their course.
Exactly.
And
they do.
That's why Tony said, you know, even if it becomes a pandemic, it's worth it.
Dr. Fauci. Yes, but, you know, in the old days, that's what the government did. In the 50s and the 60s, we had Asian flu and different types of flus, and the government didn't get much involved at all, and the flus ran their course, and yeah, there was a spike but in deaths, but after that, it was all over, and we didn't have any of these lockdowns, which caused more harm than good, nor did we have this frantic push by Big Pharma to push vaccines on all of us.
And to be paid for them.
Yes.
That's what the deal is.
And there's big money in
commerce. Yeah.
They're getting $20 a shot now, I understand. Pfizer, Moderna, and Johnson & Johnson. But next year, it's my understanding it's supposed to spike up to over $100 a shot.
Maybe that's why Tony, that is Anthony Fauci, used the word worth. It was worth the chance of a pandemic. It was worth.
Yeah, it was worth it.
To somebody.
It's like our democracy really means their oligarchs.
Yeah.
So.
Pharmaceutical oligarchs.
Right. And, you know, it's going to be hard to dismantle this medical industrial complex, but, you know, we have to be looking at it. And I don't know what the answer is right now, but at least we have a battle royal approaching. And Senator Paul has called for a criminal investigation of Fauci, whether that will happen in the current administration.
And he sent a letter over to the Justice Department this morning.
Yes, he did.
Isn't that exciting?
Yeah.
I mean, is there anything better than that?
What, they probably have 30 days or something to answer him or something? Or?
I'm not sure.
Yeah.
It's going to be difficult for them to ignore it. But Ron Johnson is supporting it again this morning. He's backing Rand Paul up and suggesting that we, you know, get into this. You know, let's look into this. He's culpable, Johnson said. He's lying about it, and he needs to be held accountable. Says it's time to go after Fauci for funding gain-of-function research and lying about it under oath.
Bravo.
Amen.
Hi, I'm Dr. Dennis Patterson. I'm the founder and owner of Nevada Advanced Pain Specialists.
This is America Matters Media on AM 1180 KCKQ, a Lotus broadcast station. The power of radio since 1967.
Are you shy and don't want to talk on the air? Text us your questions or comments to 775-237-2266. Now, back to the show.
Well, welcome back to Talking Truth to Power, and I'm your host, Brendan Trainor, my co-host, Leland Faegre. So I thought we'd do a little deep dive into Haiti. It's been in the news again. They have a new president. We found out some more details about the hit squad on the former President Moise. Apparently, there were 7 Colombians involved that were trained by the United States involved. And
shocking, I tell you.
Yeah.
Imagine the United States being involved in an assassination overseas.
Yeah, I know. It never happened before. It's against our principles. It's not who we are.
It's not who we are.
So, you know, we know very little about Haiti. It's kind of like Harlem or Watts. It's just too black for most people, and
too poor.
They speak French, and it's too poor. It's like it's hard to get a grip on Haiti. But so we'll just briefly, Haiti was the first and only successful slave revolt around the turn of the 19th century. What is not understood, though, is the country never developed into an egalitarian, colorblind society. Haiti, soon after the revolution, Haiti abandoned its principles in order to curry favor with the U.S. and Europe.
Is that because the French left?
Well, the French, yeah, they were pushed out. I mean, they tried to recapture it twice, and they couldn't do it.
Right.
But
I feel the same way about Mexico.
Yes. So it became a rule by virtue of how light-skinned you were. And the lighter skinned you were, the more successful you were. It became a caste system. The mulatto Haitians during the 19th century were in charge, and the darker skinned Haitians, like they are today, were pretty much doomed to remain dirt poor. Now, why did they do this? It was done partially to ingratiate the nation with the U.S. and the European powers for recognition and trade. In the U.S. in particular, it was feared by many U.S. companies that trading with Haiti would stir up racial protests, even slave revolts at home. Because under U.S. law, if a person has even one drop of Negro blood, that person was black, according to U.S. segregationist law. So having mulattoes in charge did not really, work well. It didn't really get rid of the taboo against doing business with them. And but there's another factor that we should keep in mind, is that in most cultures, whiter skin is more desirable than darker skin. It's just true across the human spectrum.
So it's okay to be white?
It's okay to be white, but people don't want to admit it anymore.
I see.
Tall, part of the plan.
In Asian culture, for example, the pale Northeast Asians of Northeast China, Korea, and Japan are called fancy Asians. And the people from Southeast Asia and Southern China, they're often think of themselves or colloquially refer to themselves as jungle Asians. And the lighter-skinned Asians are, felt or perceived by the population that they have certain privileges. So there's a kernel of truth even in, don't nail me to the cross for saying it, but, critical race theory, there is a kernel of truth there, and that whiteness does come with certain privileges. That doesn't mean if you're a working class white person, you're privileged, but it does mean that there's an association with lighter skin that generally includes this association with privilege.
Say what?
Well, you confused that guy.
Yeah. But the United States found a way around the political taint of commerce with the black nation, even if they were coffee-colored, not really black, by facilitating the migration of Middle Easterners into Haiti. So Sephardic Jews from the Levant and Ashkenazi Jews from Europe, as well as Middle Eastern Christians who feared the rising storms of war in Europe, found Latin America to be a land of opportunity, especially when they were given all these privileges in order to move there and own a business. There was much less of a political price to pay for U.S. businesses that deal with Middle Easterners than that deal with black people. So after all this, we know that Haiti today is ruled by a small cabal of Middle Eastern extremely wealthy families. Most journalists say about 8 families who originally came from the Levant years ago and made a fortune largely because of their lack of African ancestry.
And gold mines.
And
the gold mines.
Yeah, gold mines. Hillary
Shut
Clinton.
up and take my money.
And even today, the upper middle class management of the country is largely done by whites and mulattoes. And the people rioting in the streets over the injustices are usually very dark black in complexion. So the power behind, even though the presidents of Haiti are often seen as perceived as very black, like the last one, Moisey, still the power behind the throne is not black. It's white and mulatto. And we're seeing that today with the government in disarray. The country is basically controlled by gangs. And some are just violent criminal gangs, but some appear to be actual citizen militias who are protecting lives and property.
Our signal goes into Haiti, so...
Does it?
Oh, yeah. Sure.
Oh, yeah. We're on the internet.
Yeah, so they can give us a call at 844-790-TALK.
Inconceivable!
Yeah, and I don't speak Creole. I speak a little French, but I don't speak Creole. But it would be interesting if we could get some people in. Like I said, I've dealt with Haitians in a business sense when working with the airlines. Our airline served Port-au-Prince, but
Have you ever been there?
No, I haven't been there. No. Been to Jamaica and some other countries in the Caribbean, but not Haiti. And it's, frankly, it's like I've only been to, when I lived in New York, I only went to Harlem a couple of times. It's not a place where you go to hang out if you're a white boy.
Oh, okay.
Nope.
And it's a little bit scary, but that's the fact is that this is something that we have been involved with over the years. We're the ones that kicked out Aristide and the Clintons. The most reformist president, let me put it that way. I don't know exactly what his politics are, but he was the most popular reformist president that the Haitians elected after years of having dictators backed by the Western powers.
He got a lot of great press.
Yeah, the Duvaliers, Papa Doc and Baby Doc, they were all propped up by us. And Aristide, he came back to Haiti, and he's actually kind of wealthy himself. But he came back to Haiti now, and he lives in Haiti, but I don't know if he's going to try to run again. I kind of doubt it after the events that we've seen.
The message has been sent.
The message has been sent, yeah. I mean, they eliminated this Moisey guy with machine guns in point-blank range. They thought he had been tortured because his eyes had been blown out and his bones were broken.
So
and
they
things
didn't
like
leave
that.
anything to chance.
No, they just slaughtered him with bullets.
And I think there was an acknowledgement at the compound that there was going to be a new security detail, which should have raised eyebrows.
Right.
That going into that weekend, I've seen that report from somewhere. You know, if you can trust these things, but
I think at least some of those Colombians have been smuggled out by the United States. I mean, they're not
safe
there
passage
anymore. Yeah, safe passage.
By the CIA?
Yeah.
Or you must be mistaken.
The beast.
No, I'm afraid not. That's how these things work. And, you know, Haiti is also a Roman Catholic country. You'd think the church, I don't know.
Would fix these things?
Yeah, would fix them, you know. But the government pays the salaries of the priests.
Yeah, just like England and Ireland in the once upon a time, they paid the priesthood.
Yep.
Britain paid the priesthood during the famine.
Fatality. Yeah. But so, you know, Haiti more closely resembles hell than a cathedral at this point.
Boy, that's an understatement.
Yeah.
That's why I was curious about Port-au-Prince, what that looked like, and what that must be for tourists, if there is such a thing.
There are some, you know, you can find videos. There, you know, on YouTube there are tourist videos of Haiti, and you can see some videos. The wealthy part of Haiti is called Pétionville, and that part is extremely wealthy. And then, you know, you walk down out of there, and it becomes more and more like a third world country once you leave that particular section of Port-au-Prince.
Which is pretty much what we see when there are earthquakes and like that there.
Yeah.
So.
Right. That's it. But you know, you can't blame the Clintons for getting involved. I mean, you know, they're obviously the Clinton Foundation was doing a lot of good work.
They had the best intentions.
Yes. I think I mentioned last week. There's a story that Hillary supposedly smuggled out some gold from Libya, Gaddafi's gold, and had it laundered in Haiti by a corporation. I think her brother ran it, and they called it gold mining. Well, there are a few gold mines in Haiti, but they're not very active. There's very little business in Haiti. They used to make baseballs for the Major League Baseball.
I didn't know that.
Yeah, but they don't even do that anymore.
They don't even do that, huh?
No.
Where did they outsource baseball manufacturing?
I'm not sure. Probably maybe the Dominican Republic next door.
Next door.
Yeah. Dominican Republic is poor, but it's more stable than Haiti.
Well, they give us a whole lot of baseball players.
Yes, they do. Yep.
Would you like more energy? A photon sound beam may be the solution you need.
Getting to know you.
Let me tell you about America Matters with Eddie Floyd. It comes on every Monday at noon. Don't want you to miss it. That's America Matters with Eddie Floyd.
To join the conversation, call 844-790-TALK. That's 844-790-8255. Now, back to the show.
Hey, it's time for another version of Jews in the News. And I missed the time.
That sounds Jewish.
Yeah. All right. First, of course, we have to give the required ADL
disclaimer.
Disclaimer, yes, that we know that Israel is our greatest ally and the only democracy in the Middle East, and they don't throw gay people off of roofs. And also, whenever we observe Jews behaving badly, we must remember that every time it's always our fault. Okay. So let's revisit Haiti a little bit here. Although it is hard to know how many of the 8 ruling families of Haiti are Jewish, the richest man in Haiti, and probably the Caribbean, is one Gilbert Biggio, who lives in a big, beautiful house in Pétionville. There's a luxurious swimming pool and a gazebo for outdoor parties. And like most of the other Jews who remain in Haiti, Biggio is considered extremely wealthy in a country where 50% of the population is illiterate and 76% of children under 5 are underweight or suffer from stunted growth. But Biggio, in a recent interview, was quoted as saying, "I don't think there's resentment against people who are rich here." The retired businessman who speaks English, French, and Haitian Creole, "If you know how to manage success, people admire you instead of hate you."
I mean, like Bezos.
Exactly. Now, his business, which is named after him, is centered in a shanty town called Cité Soleil. It's a seaside shanty town of more than 300,000 people. Most of them live in homes made of cinder blocks with tin roofs, and has been described as poorer than India's infamous slums of Calcutta. And that's the home of his business enterprise. And according to the website of the enterprise, GB Group, it says, "Our purpose is to improve the quality of life of the communities we reach." And then
the ostensible purpose.
Yeah, the ostensible purpose of it is. So while the surrounding residents of Cité Soleil are literally eat dirt to stave off hunger, Biggio is a billionaire. His family supported the first coup against Aristide and reportedly helped to back the movement that forced his second ouster in 2004. And he owns a seaport. It's a private seaport that the government doesn't own. And guess what? All the heavy guns, weapons that have been brought into...
Come in through there?
Come in through there, yes. By some amazing coincidence. You know?
And you ain't in it.
According to his own company's website, his family maintains controlling interest in 16 of Haiti's largest companies. They also own the largest sector of the wireless communications giant Digicel, a mammoth company based in Ireland that has nearly cornered the cellular market in the Caribbean. So Biggio's family represents the uber-wealthy who have benefited most since Aristide's ouster in 2004.
And he has shoreline property?
I'm sure he does, yes. But what is not really known also is that he has property in an exclusive foreign resort, Florida resort, an exclusive Florida resort, and it's a multi-million-dollar property with 8.5 rooms and eight bedrooms, 8.5 baths, and so on. And this is the
lifestyle?
The lifestyle of the rich and famous, yes. It's called Indian Creek Village. Sorry about that, I had to find it. But I also find it interesting that Jared and Ivanka Kushner have just purchased a $24 million mansion right around the corner from Mr. Biggio in that same Indian Creek Village of the damned rich.
In Haiti?
In Haiti.
Wow. So I guess it's not all bad.
No, it's not in Haiti. It's in Florida. It's in southern Florida.
The Indian village.
He has the mansion in Pétionville, and he has the mansion in southern Florida.
I think they've all relocated to Florida.
Yeah, they probably have. You know, that seems to be the place to be for.
Well, if you're from New York. What would be the matter?
Yeah, I have a sister that lives in Florida now. I know that's where all the New Yorkers go, especially the New York Jews. You know, they really love it down there.
Hannity's out of New York. I mean, it's all but determined he's gonna leave that. He wants to go to a no income tax.
Yes, and Florida's one of those.
Who can blame him?
No. Well, if he understood the income tax, he would know he didn't have to do that, but that's another story. But there's other Jews in the news. One of them is Oliver Stone, the movie maker. And he is producing a follow-up film to his original JFK that came out about 10 years ago. It's being shown at Cannes Film Festival right now, and he's done a couple of interviews on it. And, you know, he's a
pretty intriguing guy, isn't he?
Yes, he is. And he's a leftist, but he's one of the better leftists around.
And he's Jewish.
Right, he's Jewish. Well, that's what I was going to, you know, he's one of the good Jewish people that we celebrate on Jews in the News sometimes. But the fact that he's Jewish and he's exposing the assassination of JFK makes me wonder if he will probe that aspect of the assassination at all.
Well, he's fascinated by Kennedy.
Yes.
I mean, there's no question about that.
Right. He claims what he's saying is he's doing this new one because documents released by President Trump prove his thesis that Kennedy was going to pull out of Vietnam. Kennedy wanted a grand bargain with Khrushchev, and he also wanted to end the harassment of Cuba. So we'll see, but that's what his thesis is, and that's what he claims the documentary will show.
You know what he should have done? He should have interviewed Putin.
He did. He did interview Putin. Yes, he did. I'm pulling my Brian Stelter impersonation.
Yeah, but it was believable.
Yeah.
His isn't. Yours is.
No, he's got a 3-hour documentary on Putin where he just talked to Putin over a period of several days, and he drove with him in his car.
They drove around town and everything.
Yeah, with an interpreter in the back seat, you know, because Putin speaks English, but not the best. And then he even went into the war room with Putin, and so we got a glimpse of the Kremlin war room. And then they watched Dr. Strangelove together.
Oh, man. You just can't make it up, can you?
No. But there are Israeli connections and Mossad connections possibly to the assassination. Some people think there were. I think, you know, if we ever get into it, RFK, Robert Kennedy, I mean, that almost screams Mossad, that assassination.
CIA Mossad.
Yeah, exactly.
One and the same.
But there was, for example, now, I don't know whether he's going to get into it or not, but Kennedy not only wanted to end the Cold War, but he wanted to refuse Israel the nuclear bomb, and he tried to limit Israel's political influence in the U.S.
Well, that didn't work out very
well. No, it didn't. But even more damning, it was his father, Joseph P. Kennedy, because he was totally against the U.S. Entry into World War II, and fought against it to the very end when he finally had
to. As we would have been if we were around.
Yes, if we were around there. And there is one interesting anecdote or incident that occurred just as Kennedy's car was entering the intersection into Dealey Plaza there. A man opened up a black umbrella, and some people have wondered if that was some kind of signal to the assassins. Well, the man was interviewed, and he is Jewish, but he said the reason why he opened the umbrella, whether it's true or not, is because the black umbrella was associated with Neville Chamberlain and the appeasement, the so-called appeasement of Hitler, that, you know, you can't talk to a neocon about foreign affairs for more than 10 minutes when they don't mention 1939 and the appeasement in Munich.
It just naturally comes up.
Yeah, all the time. And so that's why if it wasn't a signal to the assassins, he was there to express his disgust at the Kennedys because of his JFK's father, Joseph Kennedy, and that was the symbol he used, opening up the umbrella. So we'll see if hopefully we'll get to see the movie soon. So far, for some reason, it doesn't have a U.S. distributor.
Nobody's distributing it. Huh.
It'll probably be distributed in Europe, but so far, we have to wait to see, or get a VPN and try and pick it up on the internet.
Well, it'll be in one theater in downtown Los Angeles someplace.
Okay, yeah, an art theater, yeah.
Because it's, you know, artistic.
It is artistic. It's always artistic. He is a great film writer, film producer.
Well, you know that McCarthy, now that Pelosi didn't accept Jim Jordan as one of the members of the January 6th commission, I was thinking he should just pull all the Republicans off that committee.
Maybe.
And guess what? That's what he's done.
Oh, okay.
Do it yourself.
Yep.
I don't think even she'll serve, because if he decides,
oh yeah, he can block.
then that's it. You know, there won't be any seats. It'll just be a Democrat-run event.